security cameras that are just to cast ball.
All right.
But yes, eventually I will go into Sentry's Rest.
So give me a perception check.
Oh,
Okay.
we're taking watches anyway. Like, we don't
you're gonna
trust
take
this guy.
Okay, there's only like really 3 of you right now, so I'll do 2 watches for the rest of the 2.
I'm also
But,
fairly sure the candy made me pass out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You became incapacitated. Yes, true. You did eat a horrible candy from, or well, actually a disgustingly tasty candy from the.
I did a lesser restoration, but it wasn't for the candy. I believe.
Yeah,
It was for something else.
she no longer has the Tundra COVID, but she's still unconscious.
She's still out.
I'll give you a perception check.
So then let's leave one of the watches to the sentry rest, and then you can take the other one here.
Yeah, I'll take the other one.
It's 16.
16. All right. You sit down and sit down is for the rest of them. You more just sort of place yourself positionally, tactically against it on the back of a tree, overlooking most of this small clearing that you found. You feel like if something comes from in front of you, you'll most likely catch it, though your sights are less secure. As you begin to, I can just hear breathing like a lot.
I'm pretty sure that's saying.
I don't know why this happened.
Alright, so I'll just say
Whatever.
It's fine. Whatever. Yeah. So the first part of your watch goes uneventfully. Nothing really seems to disturb you as you lay out here in the cold, watching these new people. You've aligned yourself with for the time being. At the end of the first watch, you wake up Sirocco to watch with you as you continue your sentry rest. I need both of you to give me a perception check.
Okay. Question: can I talk during sentry rest?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, but
I believe all you can do is just sit there. I will have to check that, but I will get back to you on that. For now, let's say you can talk.
12.
But you can talk while you're waking him up. That's the thing you can do. If it's not like a long conversation. Let's see.
It doesn't say you can't speak. It just says you appear inert.
6 hours in an inactive, motionless state.
Yeah.
The state you appear, but doesn't render you unconscious. You can see and hear as normal. It says nothing about the other functions. Inactive to me means that you can't talk.
Yeah, I
Since
believe
talking is an active ability.
What about telepathy?
If somebody does it to you, then it's fine. Otherwise, no.
All right.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense because you appear like almost dead in a way. So
It's completely at rest, except you can still see.
I had a 17 on the perception.
And we had 12. All right. All right. You sit in the clearing, both of you, as your passed out friend begins to finally exhibit signs of waking up. Her fourth hour finishing.
I assume she just falls asleep immediately.
Yep. She sort of goes from this state of like literally not moving at all to just like rolling
occasionally
over and just starts
breathing.
snoring.
It's not the increase in breath that we notice because she doesn't do that much anyway. But
the thing is, her snoring is like truly horrendous in the sense that when she snores, one breath lasts like 10 seconds.
Oh god.
It's like the
I made a zombie
ghoul.
with sleep apnea.
It's a
damn it.
crypt ghoul. So you're like,
Yeah, exactly. But then it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going.
Oh my god.
Yep, exactly. So that's kind of how. Okay. Enough. Oh my god, you monster. That's,
I have a opera singer's lungs, so Also tuba
goose
players.
voice, and a goose.
Yep, and the ability to do all sorts of weird noises.
Alright.
But yeah,
So you watch as she twists and turns a little bit and horrifies you in her sleep. But then,
I'm going to get up and tuck her in a bit. She cools down a lot during the nights, and I don't know if that's good for her.
does that mean tucking her into the ground because she's like kind of covered in dirt?
Yeah, I know.
Alright.
No, because she was unconscious. She wasn't burying herself, so.
Yeah. All right. So with that, as you're sort of sitting there and watching over the forest, few minutes pass into your watch as she wakes up and begins to roll around, and then the second hour or so of your watch, you begin to hear a sort of constant hissing sound about maybe 30 to 40 feet away from you within the clearing.
Just Sirocco or me too?
Just Sirocco.
Okay.
Is it like an animal's hissing sound or more?
It sounds
More like-
more like gas leaking out of some kind.
And is it sort of outside the light circle that we have?
It seems to be, yes, outside the initial circle of light that you have. It's about 40 feet into the forest line. Outside the
Okay.
clearing. Or at least that's where you think you hear it from.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to get up and sort of move to the edge of the light circle. Try to stealthily check out what's going on. If I see anything.
At the edge of the light circle, you're still about like maybe 25-30 feet away from what's happening, and it's obscured by a lot of trees, but you do hear the sound growing.
Is it getting louder or just closer?
Closer.
And is it getting closer to me as well, or did it just I get closer to it?
You're just seemingly walking towards it. It seems to be stationary, at least from what you can tell.
Is it like... I don't think Vulcan explained to us that he'll be watching, right? In any way.
No.
he's just standing there.
Okay. To be fair,
He's just being Vulcan.
but I have my eyes are open, so you can see that I.
Yeah, but you haven't moved in the last 4
yeah.
hours.
Yeah, and since the last hour, since you've been up personally, you've been looking at him for the last hour, like just to check if he's moved at all, and it's literally not a muscle. I mean, he doesn't have muscles. Like literally not a muscle.
He's not breathing. He's not
doesn't move,
moving.
he
He's
doesn't have-
standing there.
Yes.
The snow. It's not snowing, but I'm fairly certain the snow would pile up on him if
Yeah.
But Adi, can I consider this behavior of Sirocco kind of strange in a way because he just left?
Might be going for a whiz.
Yes, but I don't really understand bodily functions, so because if can seem strange to me, then I would
I might
stop this
need to
exercise.
release from some additional, pressure fluids.
Oh.
God.
Oh.
What are you, a bard?
In any way, so yeah, I think I'm going to drop my stealth and just quickly go out and come back. And I don't want to leave them unattended. Not going to sneak around for a while.
You're gonna drop the stealth and just go to the source of the sound.
Yeah.
All right. You begin swiftly.
I'm
moving
still
through the
going to approach carefully because anything can kill you in this fucking forest. But
Yeah, you approach carefully while not taking care to mask your surroundings.
Yeah.
It's more you're just getting there quickly without trying to hurt yourself.
yeah, cautiously approaching.
As you get towards this place, what you see is this strange rock cropping. It's this strange outcropping of these yellowish gray rocks. They have these veins of strange metal flowing through them, and you can see one of the veins has sort of split, and through it escapes this small amount of gas that seems to be giving this quite loud noise. This quite loud hissing slash whistling sound.
What does it smell like?
You smell at it and give me a perception check.
A 7.
It's a little bit pungent, but you can't really place it much further than that. The crack begins to widen a little as you look at it.
Do I have any notion what this might be?
Give me let's say a nature check.
Because as a player, I have a notion what it might be, but as a character, I have no fucking clue. That's a 4, by the way.
1 minute.
Well, by the look of it, it doesn't look dangerous. I just do I understand what's happening there? It's just some air or gas coming out of the rock, making this whistling sound.
Sorry, 1 second. I was starting someone. What do you say?
Like, do I understand that it's not some sort of magic or anything? It's just air or some sort of gas coming out of that rock that's making that sound?
No, it doesn't seem to be not magical, but it is a strange sound. It is. It's not just strange in the sense that it's just pressure escaping a small opening. There's also the fact that there's a slight ringing to the edges of it that seems to come from the metal itself that runs along the vein. Beyond that, with a 4, you can't really place what it is.
It would be extremely foolish of me to approach it closely. So because it doesn't seem to, be any imminent danger to us, I'm going to return to the camp.
Alright. As you begin to turn, you do notice, as you're leaving, the crack widens once again. And more of the gas begins to slip out.
Where is the wind blowing from?
Currently seems to be blowing away from your camp. Seems to be blowing in a sort of northerly direction. And your camp is more like to the southeast of it.
Yeah, I'm going to return to the camp and continue my watch. Keeping an ear out for that hissing noise.
Alright.
And you know what? I'm going to do two things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to attune to the Bezoar.
All right.
You know, that might come in handy at some
Really?
point.
Think the poison might be what does you in?
But to be honest, I don't have any other attunement items, so I figured might as well.
All right.
And I'm going to, you know, as you know, the morning is coming. I'm going to let the fire die down somewhat.
The fire does begin to die down, and it becomes unbearably cold as the bitter morning comes bearing with it this chill that seems not only without any wind, but also a dryness that's been not really present in the air here since you've been on the road recently. There's also this strange sensation that there's just something a little bit off about the smell of the air. Give me a perception check.
Visual.
Yeah, visual.
That's a 17.
All right. You start looking around, and start thinking to yourself that maybe it is the smell of this metal that seems to be permeating through this atmosphere. You smell at it, and it is a little bit similar in terms of pungency. What you then notice, though, is that there's a strange red coloration to quite a few leaves within the bladewood around you. It's mostly a little bit of discoloration that turns red, almost rust-like.
Wait. Considering previous knowledge, Ari, would this remind me of past events? Or was that different?
What kind of past events? Sorry.
That Sirocco went out to resolve that sort of attack on the forests.
No, this is not that kind of thing.
In that case, do I have any idea what's going on? Is the forest rusting?
This forest does appear to be rusting, but it's only a very small portion of the forest, from what you can see. Most of the leaves are fine. Most of the trees seem vibrant in the way that bladewoods do. But a few leaves on a few trees here and there have this strange rust coloration to them. You can't quite put your finger on where you've seen it. You try to recall, but your memory of this seems...
I've seen this before.
No, not really. Nothing like exactly quite like this, though you have seen rusted bladewood before.
So it is a sort of natural occurrence that bladewood sometimes rusts.
Yes. It does happen. It takes a lot for it to make happen. And you're not really an expert worker of bladewood, so you wouldn't really know the details of how it happened. It's not just water gets on.
That would be pretty shitty for trees to get wet, get rusted.
Yep.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do?
Does anything we have on ourselves seem to be affected similarly? Do our metallic items seem to be rusting as well?
Oh no.
it's Vulcan
That was my
turning
first
rusty.
thought. Is Vulcan okay?
Vulcan appears to be non-rusted for now.
For now.
And
Those
who
are
knows
the
what's
key
gonna
words.
happen in the
Metal.
future.
But
What about
Whatever rust he has is he came with.
That's just a birthmark.
yeah.
So yeah, is my equipment rusted? Getting rusted?
Anything made out of blade wood carries a little bit of rust, but nothing else.
Do I have any bladewood weapons actually?
No, you do not. Very expensive. The thing with blade wood is it's not just hard to what do you call it, extract. It's also very, very difficult to process.
No, I'm just
The shavings from the trees of bladewoods are essentially cast together to form like layered swords and layered weapons of different kinds.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, giving my background, do I have anything like is my dagger bladewood or something?
Is it something that I'm not going to do it, of course, because I know nothing about blade woods or whatever. But is it something that I can eventually do it if I have knowledge of it with my Forge Cleric feature?
So you don't really remember anything about working with blade wood, but knowing that you know how to work with forges and you know how to make weapons to a certain degree, given the amount of time it would take to learn about the information, you could probably
Yes. Okay.
Before than I would do.
Yep. He could do it for the rest of his life. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, no. There's no way.
I think with bladewood, like the people who extract bladewood are not the most like absurdly talented people or anything like that. But it's the people who finally craft it. They only often take one apprentice during their lifetime because of the amount of time it takes to train someone to do this kind of thing, and that apprentice in turn will take one, and as such, the number of masters, mastersmiths of bladewood never seems to change.
The thing is, like, that is very dangerous because what if one of them dies?
But then there's just one less.
that probably one of them like, fuck, I'll take two then.
That has happened historically.
We need to replenish because Gary fucking had to eat the poisonous berries.
Trust me, none of the people who are forging bladewoods are or bladewood blades are dying to a poisonous berry.
Oh no, he did it for the thrill.
There's a lot of magic that needs to be imbued into the art itself.
He OD'd on the poisonous berries. That's all the only way he actually, felt anything. Anyway, how much time is left from my watch, roughly?
On your watch?
Yeah.
Okay. Your watch is about an hour or so till it's about done. And as now you awaken, this rusting has sort of subsided to where it's only there on the trees it was. It's not really spreading anymore.
Yeah. Then before I wake the others, I'm going to check on the whispering hole again.
You're gonna check on
the whistling hole again.
Okay.
See.
You move towards it, and knowing that your friends are gonna wake up soon, you hurry up along the way. And when you get there, you notice that instead of the small crevice within the rock that you saw that was slightly expanding, now lies a fist-sized hole. And this It seems to not be whistling anymore. The sound seems to have subsided. But there appears to be a little bit of a rattling in it as the metal begins to... You see this as well. The metal powder that was attached to the walls of this seems to be detaching and getting blown through by a gust of air that's coming from below the surface.
Ooh. In that case, I'm going to approach.
Right, you approach.
Is there a way that I can look into that hole?
It's about
Or is it-
it's the size of a fist and it's completely dark inside.
Well, I have dark vision.
All right, you look down it, and what you see is a channel, or sort of a jagged channel that curves off maybe about 4 to 5 feet below ground. And then beyond that, you can't really say anything.
If only, Artie. If only I had
This is
another
a
level.
straight shot. Okay.
I would 100% wild shape. Go down the hole.
Go down the rabbit hole. See what happens.
No, this is my hole. It was made for me. But because I cannot do that, instead I will attempt to gather that metallic dust into one of my empty vials.
Metallic dust into one of your empty vials, okay?
Yeah, because I don't know what that is, but with my new interest in alchemy, maybe it will do me well later.
How exactly are you gonna try to collect this into the empty vial?
But you said it's starting to detach from the rock itself, right?
It is, but it's blowing into the air.
Like constantly, or
Sorry?
like it's just in the air, or
Yeah, it's sort of it's becoming essentially particulate matter in the air, and you can see this sort of gold glimmer in the air where it comes out of. You're gonna have to find a way to plug the hole and essentially find a balloon or something that you can make it blow air into for a bit. And that way you could collect like a minuscule amount.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a cloth wet and try to catch it and wipe the surface with that.
All right. A wet cloth. All right. Yeah, that's fairly easy to do. You find a cloth and you wipe the surface with it, and you're gonna have to hold it there for a bit for it to catch any reasonable amount of.
Sure.
All right, so you do that, and there begins to be a small amount of buildup on the cloth itself, slightly wet cloth. As you pull it away, you see now a small layer of these flakes of gold-like substance that seem to be layered across your cloth that you used to cover the hole. It is almost the consistency of dust. And now it's like wet dust.
It's mud.
It's becoming mud. Most strangely muddy.
How odd.
Gold mud.
Gold mud. Hey, it might be something. Yeah, I'll never know if I don't try.
What are you gonna do with it?
Well, what I'm going to do is once I, collected an amount that I think, okay, I would have to stay hours longer to get more.
Yeah.
I'm going to sort of bring the corners of that cloth together and then tie it into a little sack.
So, are you gonna hold the cloth over for much longer? How long?
Well, they're definitely a couple of minutes. Like I don't want to stand there for an hour.
All right. So you stand there for a couple of minutes with the cloth over, and about maybe 30 seconds to a minute in, you feel a slight heat from the hole, and then it dissipates instantly.
What do you mean a slight heat?
So the wind blowing onto your hand, onto the cloth that you've been holding over the hole, seems to have been a fairly cool temperature until just for a second, and it faded almost instantly. But into your hand flowed this strange heat signature that you weren't expecting.
Someone farted out of the hole.
Yeah.
I figure when that happens, I'm going to peek, whatever, if something made that hot air come out, or was that just... And if there's something new there.
As you now look and you turn the cloth over, on the cloth itself, you see what looks like a strange slug-like creature that seems to be sticking onto the cloth and chasing after the flecks of gold. Its skin is like leathery almost and covered in these flecks of gold once again, and has an almost slimy texture. It seems to have two antennae at the top of its head that seem to be feelers that are feeling around for this material. And it seems to be currently just sitting on your cloth that you had all this material in, and sniffing at the pile of material that you had.
Is there only one? Or if I look in the hole, there are more of those little buggers just crawling around eating?
No, that was just one.
How big is it?
It's about the size of an index finger.
Does it look poisonous?
There's a lot of things within here that could be poisonous. So
Does it look venomous?
not really, no. But you don't really have a frame of reference for telling.
I'm going to try to, I'm going to just turn the cloth in my hand so it sits in my palm, and I'm going to try to pick the little thing up.
Oh.
All right. Are you gonna bait it with something, or are you just gonna hold your hand up and just pick it up with your?
I'm going to sort of approach it from behind, where it's, away from the feelers,
Okay.
and just pinch it between two fingers and try to lift it off.
As you begin to lift, it seems to wriggle out of your grasp almost immediately. It seems to be resistant to any form of grappling. Its form seems almost liquid
love
for a
this
second as you
thing.
go to grab it, and flops back onto the surface.
I love
Hmm.
it so much.
I'm going to try to prod it.
You prod at it, and you see as the what are you prodding it with first of all?
My finger.
As you prod at it with your finger, you notice that as your hand reaches into prod, it just seems to pull away from it, and a cavity forms sort of in its body, in the space where your finger approaches. Until finally, as your finger gets too close to the center of it, it just splits in two.
Ugh.
You see a new set of antenna forming out of the other end.
And it's just licking up the flakes from the cloth.
Yep.
What I'm going to try to do is take the cloth and just sort of smear them back onto the rock.
Oh no. Alright.
Gently!
You gently smear them back on the rock, and they seem unhurt. And though one of them seems to wander around a bit, the second one immediately sort of crawls back to the hole. The other one is sort of just sitting there and looking around.
Is it also eating the golden flakes in there?
Yep.
Well, I would love to have a little slug companion, but there's no way I can feed it. Is there any more, gold dust remaining in my cloth? Or did they
There's
lick
plenty of
all of
gold
it off?
dust. No, they didn't really lick any major amount of it off. There's most of it is still there. You can probably tie it up and get maybe 2 or 3 grams of the dust.
Who knows what that is? Who knows what the slugs do with it?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to, gently prod the one that is just hanging around. Not even prod it, just touch it with one finger. See if it recoils back as well.
A second. Just a second. Dude, I gotta take this call. 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm playing a much more cautious character than before, but it's just a tiny snail thing, right?
Yeah. Nothing can happen.
Well, plenty of things can happen, but
No.
I mean- it's just... Why is the little slug thing here? What does it do? How is it farting out so much air?
Be right back. 1 second.
No problem.
Ooh. Sorry about that. Just a little fucking tired, I guess.
You just got up.
Oh. I know I just got up.
And I'm back.
Welcome
Yeah, just-
back.
Still waiting on Artie. Must be a important call, I guess.
Fuck, I know I was gonna look up something, I just forget What?
Someone he sent home did not make it.
No.
Huh.
I really hope not.
Mm.
I'll be careful.
I just I just realized I had a slug adventure for the last hour and a half, and we didn't have any D&D yet.
What do you mean? Your slug adventure's been great.
Anyway, so did the other little dude did something when I approached?
Sorry, go on.
Ooh, you're all ethereal now.
I love it.
One second.
Actually, it sounds nice.
So yeah, the other little snail thing that did not run back into the hole. I tried to.
Again, my
Okay.
headphones are being put on.
I am happy.
What happened?
I over on Twitch, I stream Wizard 101, and
Right?
one of the bundles that I wanted, it was discontinued, but apparently it's half off at the moment.
Nice.
Pretty much it lets you ride around on a fox. And it's got the same stats as my current mount.
So you're gonna get it?
Hell yes.
Oh.
Did we lose already?
Yeah, I think he has some
Yep.
problems. with the
Ooh.
microphone.
Okay, I fixed it. Sorry. Yeah, so what do you say, Hick?
I was going to approach the other little slug thing that did not run back into the hole.
Alright. It seems to just be sort of standing there, looking around, not doing anything.
I'm going to try
It
to
seems to
pet
be seems to be fairly aware of the fact that it's been disturbed, and it just came to life. Just came to...
it's aware of its existence, and the existence is pain. I'm going to try to tap it with my finger gently.
As you tap it, it does the same thing again. It sort of pulls back from your
Oh, yeah,
finger.
I'm not going to touch it. Like if it's creating a cavity again, I'm not going to go that far to have it split.
All right. You stop before it splits.
I don't want to overpopulate the area with flake eating snakes. Who knows how much flake this hole makes.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be happy with the amount of flakes that's in my little cloth. I'm going to later dry it and try to scrape it into a bottle, but later. Now I'm just tying it into a little sack and leaving disturbed snails to their peace.
So you get some of this material. It's not much. Maybe about a vial's worth, if that. Hello?
I don't even know what that is, so maybe it's worth nothing, or maybe it's just snail poop. Who knows?
And it's not really magical either, so
Yeah, I'm just
definitely don't know what it is.
I'm just interested. Maybe it's something that I can use in my newly found alchemical studies.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
But yep, I'm going to quickly return to my companions who are probably waking up soon.
The rest of you wake as Sirocco seems to come back from somewhere. He seems to have been in the woods for the last few minutes, and you notice that almost immediately. You were very concerned when he left you. He probably checked something, or maybe he went to do his morning ablutions. But comes back and wakes the rest of them up. And all of you begin to set out for the rest of the day.
Hmm.
So we long rested, correct?
Yes.
Hooray!
So, what do you want to do? Anything you wish to discuss before setting off?
What happened? How were we? The last thing I remember is I took a bite out of something that was typical candy.
Well, yes.
Amazing tasting, not good for your health.
Well, Icarus, it seems that this candy was especially not good for your health. I would advise against eating more. If this piece knocked you out, who knows what another one might do? Kill you? Possibly.
Well, they could still be useful for other things.
Just make sure to keep it away from children.
Of course.
And yourself.
You do notice that there are at least another 10 pieces or so, or sorry, 9 now of the candy.
All right.
Yeah, you can pass out 9 more times.
At the best opportune times.
Adi, last time when I used lesser restoration on Icarus, I felt something more deep inside, correct? Something else.
Yes, there was. Well, something other than the plague, the COVID.
Yes. Well.
Yeah, there was something there. Yes.
Okay.
You don't really know the nature of it, though. There is some form
I know.
binding on her.
Okay.
It seems to center.
Go on.
It seems to center on her person itself, though it reaches more towards her hand.
Oh!
I will go near Icarus then, and I will say, last time when you were out after you ate the piece of whatever that is, I tried to help you. I felt like I could help you, and I tried, but I couldn't fully. There was something deep down.
There are a lot of things deep down. Which one are you talking about?
I'm not sure, unfortunately.
Well, thank you for trying to help.
And I will turn to Sirocco and say, you left earlier.
Well, yes. heard an odd sound from the forest. Figured I might check it out. It was some sort of fissure.
Huh.
Some air or gas was escaping the ground, but it's gone now. I
The
sniff
fissure
into the
doesn't
air.
just disappear, Sirocco.
The
Uh,
smell seems to have dissipated quite a bit, though the rust on some of the leaves still remains.
Well, it's just over there, and I point. Also, please do not disturb. There's some sort of creatures living inside of it.
Well,
Alright.
I understand.
I
Shall
will go
we-
back to
Mhm.
the daily ring shining.
And I will turn to both of them and say, I know this is a strange request, but shouldn't we eat?
Eat?
Yes, I can prepare something if you have the tools.
Well, yes, breakfast would be appreciated, but I sort of tilt my head looking at him. Do you eat?
Of course, I
I sort of look at his, solid faceplate.
yes, of course I do. Yes, of course I eat.
Are you certain?
Yes.
And
Are you
Well-
absolutely sure that you eat?
I think that's a step over, Icarus.
Yeah,
Certainly-
I'm just...
It is quite curious how. But, I guess we will see, right?
Yeah, I guess we will.
And what would you like to eat? We have
Yeah, so what
some
would you
rations.
Sorry.
What do you want to eat?
Um,
And you just see Icarus kind of pulling out like a little notebook type thing.
Well, I can eat everything, I think. I do not have a preference.
Well, in that case, let us share some rations for the morning.
Nuts.
I do not think we have much time to look for food, as we would better get back to the dome as soon as possible. I start looking for Cedar. What's he's up to?
Cedar seems to have woken up.
Or say Sudar, not Cedar.
Sudar seems to have woken up and is currently essentially grooming himself.
Does he have like a little brush?
He does not have a brush. What he does have is a sort of strange urchin-like creature that has been hollowed out that he uses as a sort of brush. On his mostly on his hair and also on the fuzz around his ankles.
Yeah, I'm going to hand some rations to Vulcan to prepare into a meal, and I'm going to approach him in his grooming, from the front.
Yep. Cedar looks up at you. Oh. Is it time to go yet?
Oh no, we preparing a small meal before we leave. I was just wondering if you, once you're done, of course, would have a minute to check something out. In the night, I've seen some strange occurrence, and you might be more knowledgeable what it might be. I don't know if it's if it's important, but it might be for your people, as it occurred in your land.
That would be fine. Just give me a few moments. Let me finish this up. And he goes back to brushing.
Sure. So I'm going to approach the now completely ash campfire.
Mm.
I'm going to use my hand to start digging into the ash.
What are you looking for?
My book.
Ah. All of you watch this sort of. You're cooking right now, Vulcan, but even you sort of turn to see as it's a strange occurrence for a human to, or for a humanoid to reach their hand into flames. And though it's the flames themselves have gone out, the embers themselves are still fairly hot. That doesn't seem to bother Sirocco as he reaches in and brushes off a large amount of the ashes where the campfire once stood. And beneath it, you see this strange brownish black dome. It seems to be about maybe an inch or so thick, and the binding of it, the cover of it, seems to be made out of this leather-like material, and it has a strange arcane symbol sewn into the front.
But the simple so seem to be glowing with an amber-like quality, right?
Yep.
So I sort of brush most of the ash from the front. Check the first page. Guess it's still full of ash. Just blow off the first page. See if there's anything written there.
There's a fair amount of ash, like that is partially obscuring a lot of the tome itself. So you dust it off completely, and you notice that even some of the edges of the pages are sort of not burnt, but like have this strange charring to them. But you go past that, and you open up your tome, and it gives you this strange feeling. This book, it seems to pull in the shadows from around it and extrude this strange amber-like light. As you open it, you look inside, and there's some form of writing that, though at first seems foreign to you, you grasp almost immediately. And you gather that these are some form of magical secrets that you didn't quite grasp just a day before. So today they seem clear as day.
Oh, no.
Your magic was...
Yeah, it was what I expected.
But your magic was never quite this well worded or well thought out. It was more instinctual before this.
Oh, absolutely.
And looking at this, it gives it form, it gives it a sense of repeatability that you didn't think possible.
Yeah.
And you see a great scroll or we got it written across the first few pages of your new tome, your 3 cantrips, which I believe you already picked, right?
Yeah, I have all of them. Just I was wondering, I have do I have a personal message, but I guess not. It's probably better. I would have been worried if I got a personal message with this. So yeah, I'm going to run my finger along those lines a bit. Check out a couple things and then snap the book shut. Probably blowing a bit of ash in my face. And then, place it in my satchel.
Alright. You place the book in your satchel. And you turn to Vulcan, who... Vulcan, how exactly are you preparing these? And what
Yeah,
are you doing with these rations?
Okay, so first of all, I want to look around a bit, see if I find anything that I can use to enhance the flavor of the rations, like berries or whatever I can. Even just what I
So I
think.
will check.
Yes, what I think at least is better for the rations.
Find edible material. Add edible material to already edible material. Enhance flavor.
It's 24.
Oh!
Jesus.
While you don't find any berries or anything of that sort, you do find a small bush.
You find a tiny snail.
And within it, you find these strange buds that seem to be on the brink of flowering. Though they're not
Okay.
quite flowers, and as you pick them apart, they sort of expel this puff of smoke, or not smoke, more like powder into the air. And as it catches around you, you just feel this strange sense of recognition in it. This seems to be some kind of spice, though you're not quite sure what it is because your sense of smell is not non-existent.
Yeah, I like my sense of taste, so...
You found a
Where?
small coke bush.
But
I'm good.
it does trigger some form of recognition within you. Not quite a memory, but it does seem familiar.
Okay. I will use that then and try to at least prepare the rations to enhance the flavor at least a bit.
Maybe, do you have a cook's? Do you have cook's tools, right?
I took them from the witch's hut, like the
Alright.
hag hut.
Oh, did you clean it since?
Yeah, well, maybe.
I think we prestidigitated it. Let's.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Fire sanitizes. I'm immune to being poisoned, so I should be fine. But you're immune to being poisoned, so you should be fine.
And honestly, a little bit of human taste is not the worst. Come on.
I mean, how am I gonna tell? I have no idea what taste is. So
I love your idea. Let's enhance the taste. It's like when fucking Bender becomes a chef in Futurama.
So give me
yes.
cooking utensils check while using your what do you call it? Your wisdom modifier
Okay.
along with it.
I have proficiency too, so
Yeah, so it's wisdom modifier plus proficiency.
yes, +6. 11.
11. Alright. You put something together and it's hard to know what it is without tasting it exactly. The dried meats, you come together with this new spice and this strange broth that you create to provide a decent stew that you think would be good, but you're not quite sure what it tastes like. Well, tasting is a problem for you. How exactly do you plan to eat this?
Just
That's the
smear
thing.
it on.
That's the thing. I'm going to try and like take a bit and try and go for when I try and go for a bite, I will just stop for a second, look at it, and then try to feel my face for a moment. And I will go and I will say, after I finish, I will say to Sirocco and Icarus, I finished. I've already eaten my part, but there's enough for you too. And for the
You
others.
notice as he turns and he tries to eat it, and it just sort of clinks against his faceplate. He just sort of has this moment of strange bewilderment, where he just freezes for a couple of seconds and then returns the spoon to the stew and says this to both of you. What do you do?
Sure. Eat. I will gladly eat. I want to know what this tastes like.
Well, he's
Taking notes, of course.
Well, he's certainly fit with us odd bunch.
That's for sure.
You know, I'm going to look at suspiciously, with suspicion on the broth that he created out of rations. Is there reminiscence of the strange bulbs that he found? Are they just inside?
No, the bulbs were opened and the powder was used.
Ah. Well, I guess,
I'm eating it, so.
And, since it's a meat dish, or the centaur probably won't like it, so not going to offer it to him.
Has his own rations. He's gonna.
Yeah, I'm not going to offer him the meat stew. He's more than likely vegetarian, or probably vegan.
So you begin to eat, and you recognize this flavor almost immediately. Though it's quite a bit more potent than what you thought possible. There seems to be a strange form of pepper, and the amount in this dish, though the rest of it is quite delicious, is alarming.
Mm.
You gather that since he didn't really taste or know exactly how much was going to go in, he just put in what felt right, and that just feels way too much pepper right now in this. Sort of to the point where it starts irritating your nose a little as you eat.
It's one of
But
those Szechuan peppers.
Yeah, but it's still one of those, not that kind of it, but it's like black pepper.
But on the bright part, you get 2 temporary HP, so.
Because we find, I guess, a bit of heat is not bad, it warms you up.
Hey, it's a delicious meal outside of that one problem.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Is that really a problem?
It was delicious to me, okay?
Yeah, you loved it. Also, our health counters are gone again.
What? Oh my god, dude.
I just casually noticed. Anyway, so yeah, we finish up our hearty breakfast, and I check if Seder is done grooming himself.
Yeah, Seder appears to be done grooming himself, and as you finish up your meal as well, he finishes up his, and he walks up to you and says, "So, show me then. What exactly are we looking at?"
So yeah, I'm going to get up, put down my bowl, and then start walking with him. And just walking by, I'm going to tell Vulcan, that was a very nice meal. Bit spicy for my mild taste, but nevertheless very welcome. Thank you. Very welcoming.
Very nice. Thank you.
So, yeah, then I'm going to sort of lead Seder towards the direction where I found the rock and the the hole and the snails.
All right.
And I'm also going to point him out that, I see the odd coloration on the blade leaves.
Mhm. You are led to this place. You examine the rock and the small outcropping alongside it, and you
Are the,
notice
are the snails gone?
maybe the you notice that there's these giant there's this giant fissure sort of in the middle of this one rock, as it this rock that's almost covered in these vein-like golden metals. Seems to be at this point completely devoid of this snail creature, this slug creature that your friend just told you about. But upon approaching, can you give me a perception?
Sure.
Not you. Welcome.
Alright.
Welcome.
Hello?
Perception check.
Are they
Oh,
following
sorry.
me even?
I had like a moment of disconnect. I didn't
all
hear
right.
you.
Sorry, what is following you?
Did Icarus and Vulcan follow me and Sador?
I
I
believe so. I don't know.
I think you all went, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a perception check, right?
Sadar rolled one as well. Sadar sort of looks at it and he seems a little confused for a second.
21.
21, alright. Pathan, you
Yes.
notice this almost immediately. This metal, you've seen it before. You don't know where exactly, but you've seen it before. And you know how valuable it is. You don't know what it is, but you know that you've made weapons with this. You can feel almost the shifting in its mass as you file down enough of this metal and boil enough of it to form it into a large spear. You can almost see the spear in your mind's eye, though you still can't place the name of the metal. Sadar looks at it and he just looks confused and he looks at you, Sirocco. That is quite strange. I've this forest a long time. Never quite seen anything like that. That gold.
Not sure. Never seen anything like this either. This fissure just opened up middle of the night. This gas or wind was exploding from it.
We need to take what we can. I think this is a very rare material.
Well, that's great, but
I recognize it, but I'm not sure what it is, but I know that this is valuable. I used it before.
Well, Vulcan, that's good to know, but I'm very certain that this land still belongs to our friend here, well, not his people. And I'm not certain he would be glad if we plundered the valuables of their land. Well, further plundered.
Well, we don't really use this rock or whatever it is. I've never seen it before. You're free to have it, honestly.
Oh,
As long as you don't hurt anything living. do it.
I'm going to look for the snails. Or the slugs. Are they still here?
You look into the hole. Can you give me a perception check?
Sure.
Adi, can I remember a particular way to handle this?
Jesus. My rolls are
Yes.
trash.
You do, in fact. Oh, damn. Okay. What was the total?
11.
Yeah, no, you don't see any of the snails inside the holes, really.
Well, they probably went down.
Sorry, but you, on the other hand, Vulcan, looking at this powder-like substance, this flaky material, and it's got this feeling that it gives you this feeling that you can't really handle it, so to speak. You need magic to corral it into a particular shape. And from there, you can store it and then bind it. And then eventually melt it down, and so on and so forth.
Do I feel like I can do it, or I don't possess the capabilities?
You think that you could possess the capabilities, but you don't have it.
Okay. I will then say, we need magic to handle this. Unfortunately, I think I can do something, but at the moment I don't. It's very strange. I don't remember exactly how to.
Well, that's unfortunate. In that case, make sure to remember this place well. Maybe we can return it someday. I sort of look around. Is there anything that, could lead us here? Any kind of points of interest?
Sorry, go again? I missed that.
Is there anything around that would allow us to find find our way back here, like a landmark?
No, this seems to be another one of those nondescript clearings near in the forest.
Random spot in the forest, like
There
before.
are plenty of them. Though you do know that it's only a small distance away from the dome.
Yeah.
Which
I guess
puts you in.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to do the same as before.
You're gonna tie something up here? You're gonna write something down? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm going to leave some druidic markings on the nearby trees in a certain radius to just.
Alright.
Since I don't have dark vision, I'm going to take a small pebble, a rock, cast light on it, and let it drop into the hole, and try to see if I can see something.
Alright. Well, the whole thing with this area as a whole, and Cedar seems to be giving off this vibe as well, is that there's not much in the way of living creatures around. And he seems to be a little bit concerned. Something seems to have driven them off. The rot on or the rust on the leaves in particular seems to give that away more than anything.
Does it seem dangerous in any way to us? Or is it just odd?
It's odd to you, but the smell, the pungent smell that you felt last night, seems to not have gone away. More that it's just become so much a part of the surrounding now that you don't seem to know clearly.
But it's not the stinking pungent of the hag's lair, it's more of a
No, it's a strange sulfuric smell. Sorry, what was the specific thing you were doing again, Vulcan?
I'm going to try and drop a stone, a small stone with light on it, inside the hole. Since I don't have dark vision, I cannot see inside. I'm trying to create like light inside of it, so I can see something.
Well, speaking of that, this how do I say this? Without giving this away. This.
Just give it away, man.
Just do it.
No, I'm gonna save it. No, it doesn't really speak to you in any way, at least in that regard.
Okay.
At this point, Sarah sort of walks up to you,
Mm-hmm.
says, I don't know what it is, but the creatures of the forest seem to be avoiding this place. Perhaps it'd be best if we make ourselves scarce.
Yes, I left some marking around to make sure nobody wanders in here. Maybe it's not dangerous, but still best to stay away from it for now. Vulcan, are you done there?
Yes. Yes, I'm done.
Well, let us get a move on. We best tell our...
Be assured that I will have somebody come out here, somebody who's more, well, you said it has something to do with a metal of some kind, and it's valuable. I'll probably send a smith out here to see head or two of.
Just be careful. I did see some creatures in that hole. Some small slug-like thing.
As you begin to turn away from it, you see these two creatures flying out of the hole. Their wings spectral, almost gold. And as they fly up into the tree line, you see they glitter. They spray this glitter around, and it seems to fall to the forest floor. And where it hits, it leaves this mark of rot, mark of rust. And they begin flying off.
What the hell were those?
I've never seen anything like that before. Is that the same thing that you saw earlier?
Kind of? They did not have wings. They were definitely not flying.
Give me a perception check.
Jesus fucking Christ. These rolls.
Yeah, no, that doesn't appear to be much about them that looks too similar. These creatures, you see enough to notice that there's like strange hoops around their bodies before it flows into the wings, unlike the slug-like forms of the creatures before. But they do seem to spread out this gold, these gold flecks in the atmosphere as they fly up. Those two seem to have a similar effect.
And have they just flown off?
Yeah, they're just flying up into the tree line, further and further away every second. All of them are about the size of maybe your finger.
Still level 5. Wondering if there's anything I can do. I don't think there's anything I can do. So
You already gathered up a decent amount of it within your wet cloth.
no, just regarding them flying away, I was wondering if there's anything I can do
Stop
going
them?
after them, see where they go. But no, I don't.
Alright.
Well, that was certainly an odd experience, but sort of tranquil. Let us get a move on.
With that, you begin to pack the camp up and begin to start moving back along the trail towards the dome, back towards even a strange form of civilization at this point, but like at least some living beings to remind you of something in this forest that's not, death and misery. You make your way through the woods. Cold as they are, they seem to get warmer as you approach closer and closer towards your destination. And by about halfway through the day, you do see in the distance the dome extending out in front of you, though a fair bit away. Vulcan, you see for the first time this dome made of bladewood leaves, the size of think of like maybe a 400 to 500 foot long, what do you call it? Well, a dome, and its entryway seems to be this large archway that opens up as you approach. As you enter and you walk inside, you notice that the moment you step inside, the temperature rises rapidly, dramatically. And your
Is he able to
temperature
detect temperature?
I'm getting to that. And your temperature sensors seem to indicate that you are no longer in danger of frostbite and of
Oh my god.
ice formation
I see.
along the joints.
What?
I see.
Really?
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's very important for pot to be temperature regulated. Otherwise, you can have ice formations along the joints and stuff, and then
Yeah.
it becomes hard to mobilize.
It's a serious
the-
problem.
There is a level of super cooling where it's too much.
um,
But
people-
you walk in, and within the dome, other than the temperature, visually it's wildly different. There's leaves and green and all sorts of colors of not just plants, but different kinds of beasts and different kinds of humanoids that you have just never seen. You take it all in, and in stark contrast to the absolutely bland grays and browns and whites of the forest outside. This place seems to glow with strange and almost serene viridian and emerald light. Between all the flowers and the strange sun that seems to be almost magnified within the dome itself, shining down upon you, you feel a little bit, though your temperature sensors don't give you feelings, they just give you temperatures.
Mhm.
You do feel a little bit warm and fuzzy.
It doesn't bring me pleasure though. Like it doesn't bring me like
No,
joy or
nothing.
anything.
No, just
Brings
this
you
feeling
pleasure.
just this
Yeah,
feeling
not
of
in that way.
just this internal feeling of safety.
Okay.
Emanate.
Do people look at me strangely?
I was getting that. As you walk in and all of you return, your whole group is eyed with like mass suspicion, and the fake creatures and the entities of this dome, which range from anywhere between sylphs to centaurs, from wood elves to satyrs. There's a lot of variety in the people within this dome, and all of them seem to be looking at your group rather squarely and rather ominously.
I will turn to the others and say, they look friendly,
Sure.
Do they?
don't they?
Well, I would say compared to many other inhabitants of the Kreon Tundra, certainly. But maybe not too welcoming.
They didn't, execute you.
Yeah, but that was on the table to begin with. So. That's sort of a negative point on my Yelp review.
Oh no. This place isn't on Yelp. It's one of those underground joints.
it's only on Yahoo reviews.
Yep, basically. And you have to get actual Michelin guide to see the ratings of the restaurants here.
You have to make a fucking you have to make a rate star account.
Oh Jesus. So, as you are led through once again by Satar, he seems to be leading you back towards the council. And you notice here, Balkan, their society is mostly tree-based in that they seem to live among and on the trees.
Okay.
The trees themselves have been grown and shaped into buildings and places of worship and other kinds of different establishments. And all of them seem to be, and all the roads in the town themselves, or in the dome itself, seem to lead towards this central point where this massive tree, about maybe 250-ish, 200 to 250 feet tall, nearly halfway up the dome, seems to reach up and spreads, and the tree itself spreads its wide leaves and branches out to what is basically the inner 200-foot radius of the tree itself, 250-foot radius of the tree itself. So it's basically most of the dome. You look up, and through its branches, you see the sunlight flowing in, and smaller trees growing in the spots where it provides sunlight as when it lets it through. Under its branches, you see these long, thick vines protruding that seem to hang off, and around the vines themselves, there seem to be more structures placed. These seem to be more housing structures, and they seem to be connected by ropeways that lead from one vine to another. As you delve further and further and closer to the tree, you get to the point where you now finally see this council that you've been told about, sitting at the base of this tree. As you approach, initially you are met with one second, sorry. Yeah, you are met with once again this sylph woman, quite old. She rises out of her chair and into the air, almost floating. You returned. I did not fully expect it. Do you come bearing news? I see you don't have them with you. Did you find a lead where they could be? She looks at all of you. You see Ronzer, sort of the dryad fellow that you previously saw, the one who seemed mostly detached. I did not expect all of you to return, but seeing that you have, seeing Yasuda stands among you, I must convey my greetings and salutations. What news have you?
I will look at the other, waiting for them to respond.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't Alonso. That was Osa, the treant. My bad.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm just glad that we exuded your expectations. Not only we returned with all of us intact, we brought another person along.
But this construct is not a person.
That's not kind of you. I'm fairly certain he's a person.
What?
I am.
Are you not a creation of the Dragonborn boy?
What?
Strange.
He doesn't seem to have a lot of knowledge about his origins. He told us that he came wandering from the west. Never seen a creature like him. It?
The
Him?
West. Huh. Well, whatever that may be, that will have to wait.
Did we establish Vulcan's pronouns?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing that matters in the Kreon Tundra.
Nobody gives.
Do we want to talk about pronouns?
I have all of them, I think, because technically I'm an object in a way, so I'm a living object. So
I'm going to choose to recognize his masculine body structure.
sure.
So, any news?
Well, some good, some not so. Unfortunately, the citizens that you have sent us to look for have been found, but they have all perished. A creature, Sudar, named Baba Yaga, has made residence in the forest. But,
You hear whispers going through the crowd.
well, we came in confrontation with the creature and disposed of it.
You killed. It was her? I thought we had a deal. That bitch.
Well, we were not sure of her intentions, but she did have quite a large number of bodies around her house. And well,
What are you gonna do?
I was going to. I was thinking about getting the bodies out, but no, I'm more self-conscious to just use my powers in front of anyone. But we brought some of the remains back, hopefully for a more respectable way of.
And it is certain that it was her. And none of them have been, well, taken by something else or are still alive out there.
Well, we were not able to confirm their identities, unfortunately.
What did she do? What did she do?
Well,
Let's see them, please.
Are we just like in the open plaza with a bunch of people around?
Yep.
Maybe in a more private setting. It's quite gruesome.
Yes, that can be arranged. We can meet you within the canopy of the tree. Within the what do you call it? What is the word for it?
The roots or the
No. Hollow of the
branches?
tree?
Sorry, the what?
Hollow of the tree?
Oh,
Like
like inside.
Like inside the trunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hollow, yeah.
Yeah, hollow.
Come, please. They deserve to be laid to rest, and we need to establish if there's anyone still missing.
So yeah.
With that they lead you, or well, the sylph does, along with a couple more, and a few of them disperse to do their other tasks, to focus on other tasks and listen to other petitions. But you are led into the hollow, and as you are taken, you see the tree sort of doesn't seem to have an opening. But as the sylph approaches, she traces a line in the bark, and the tree sort of folds away like a wallpaper coming off a wall,
It just tickles it.
revealing behind it this almost arch-like structure, which leads inside to this opulent-looking room. The most clearly obnoxious-looking decor that you've seen within this dome itself. There seem to be 7 different large couches of sorts, but not really couches. They're more like benches that have been decorated with this beautiful filigree and have inlays in them made from different types of woods, and these plush cushions that are not unlike velvet.
I'm just going to turn to her and says, "You might want to clear a space," and I'm going
There is a rather large, like maybe about a 20-foot space in the middle of the room itself.
Yeah, and with that, I'm going to disappear and gather up the ingredients.
All of you watch as Sirocco just sort of seems to disappear, and his hearing just hangs there.
The ring just falls to the ground like a tink.
Yeah. And as the ring just sits there for a bit, you all sort of look at each other, and Sirocco, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to grab the large pot, the gathered up skins. And if anything else that we found along the way, I don't think we found their belongings or anything.
No,
So
not really belongings.
That might have been in the mass grave already, but we didn't go grave robbing. And I'm going to pick out the other 2 magical objects that I kept in the bag because I haven't checked those out yet.
All right.
I'm going to hold on to the hot powder for a while, for a bit more,
All right.
before adding it to the other alchemical components. To just maybe I ask someone if they know what the fuck is that actually.
All right. So as you produce these corpses, they all seem to. Well, there's only about 3 of them in here. They all seem to recoil for a second, almost collectively, before refocusing and starting to catalog the dead, figuring out what parts belong to who, and trying to put together what they can.
The worst puzzle game.
It is horrifying to watch them go through this, and tears begin streaming down the sylph's face. And as they drop to the ground, you see these tiny, like bunches of grass prop up where the tears themselves land. And she goes from one body to another, and as she goes over them, you see they begin to decompose slightly more quickly. with moss and with strange, what do you call it, funguses covering their bodies' remains and major wounds, uh, as well as you can at least, before turning to all of you. This is horrifying. I don't quite know what to do. Why would she do this? I told her that we made a deal with her. I thought she was hot, but she at least kept her word in the past. How long has she been here? I don't even know anymore.
Well, unfortunately, these were not her first victims. There were quite a lot more just thrown into a hole.
This is just the people we were missing, and there's more? Is that why the wood's been so quiet lately? No visitors? No passers-by?
Quite possible.
She sort of just like shivers.
Do you have a lot of visitors?
No, but occasionally we'll have the occasional merchant who'll pass through, or convoy of some sort that'll be lost. Though in the last month or so, a couple of months actually, so nothing really.
Well, we did not find any belongings to these people, but we certainly find a lot of corpses.
Yes, that is-
Would we have any indication how many people could have been there, just based on the size of the hole?
Size of the hole.
Maybe Icarus knows. How many people can you efficiently fit into a mass grave of that
Give
size?
me a medicine check to see how much the anatomy can bend.
But they were mostly bones, right?
But yeah,
Sure. Ugh. I don't think we know. That's an 8.
Oof.
That's Today is not my rolls, not my day for rolls.
I can see.
There were a lot of people. We did not disturb the mass grave there, but it is, as you would call it, a mass grave. Hello?
Hello?
sorry, 1 second.
Hello?
Oh, okay.
I was just looking at this. The World Cup match just ended, and I was just checking the score. Sorry, France won. Maybe we'll get Connie. Sorry, what did you say?
I was telling her that we don't know how many people she has killed, but as you would say, as I said before, it was a mass grave.
I shudder to even hazard a guess. It's hideous, this creature, what it has done. Well, either way, this is more than enough to, pay your debt to our society, at least. Oh, God. We were hoping for a different outcome here, I'm not gonna lie. But at least, get to contribute to keeping a few more people alive in the world. But at this rate, with everything that's happening, how long that may be entirely unreliable.
Well, at least she'll have no more victims. But in any case, poor Sudar was almost unable to approach her lair. The corruption to the forest was so severe that he barely made it. But it seemed to have begun to clear somewhat. The moment you are able to approach it fully, you should send some people there to give those others a respectable rest as well.
A second. Dude. She sort of is almost dumbstruck and turns to the treant who's unmoving, just slowly extending out the vines along his fingers, slowly covering some of the bodies. And as he does, you see them getting wrapped up and then pulled in towards the inside of the hollow, and a lot like absorbed through the walls almost of the tree. What will you do now?
Is he asking us?
Yes. He turns to all of you as he finishes doing that. He says, "What comes now?"
Well, if you have no more need of us, we have a plan to head further on, reach the river, and then head north towards Bladestone.
Well, so it's a long time since I saw Bladestone. But someone as young as you, that much of the world to see. There is no better place. Maybe at least you can get away from whatever it is. And the rest of us have to. Well, bear it out. What are you doing? Sort of just stops talking and starts focusing once again on the bodies that he's maneuvering.
We came across another oddity on our way back. Some sort of disturbance in the ground. An odd fissure opened up in a rock and started spewing air or gas with these odd little slug-like creatures in it. I take out the tiny sack that I made with this sort of material around them. Have you seen or heard of anything like this? Just a bit off where we fought the hag or the creature.
The treant sort of looks at the thing, looks at the dust, and just sort of turns away. The sylph, though, comes in and pinches it in her hands and sort of lets her go. And as it falls through, you see it sort of glimmer almost for a second. Where did you find this?
Well, like I said, in the forest, not far off the place. In a rock.
You don't have any idea what this is, do you?
Well, our new friend here was certainly some sort of metal that you can shape with magic.
Well, Yes, but this is quite a small amount of it, but in a large enough amount. This metal, it's called steranium, which is STERNA. Sorry, STERANIUM. Steranium is, well, it's not just a metal that can be shaped into weapons. Its biggest property is the fact that it amplifies magic. It resonates with the magic of the creator who made it. And even the most mundane smiths who can imbue even the smallest amount of magic can make quite strong artifacts, quite strong weapons with this material. Because the magic echoes within itself to create a more, potent spell effect.
Oh.
Steranium hasn't been found within this forest in nearly 30 years. For you to have found it, just walking around, that is...
What about the Otslok creatures that were seemingly eating it?
What? Something
Yes.
eating steranium?
Well, these tiny slug-like things.
It was on the surface?
But yes. Where else would we found it?
Oh no. And she sort of turns away from you and runs out of the hollow.
Maybe we should follow or leave.
Well, we had a, I don't... It feels morally ambiguous to just leave.
Yeah, she might need us to look where it is. Let's follow. And I go after her.
And I will
follow
follow.
them.
As you follow out, you see that she is running directly towards the council, and there's another case being heard currently. She just sort of storms into the middle of it and sort of shouts, Elsiania! I need help! The satyr sort of looks away from the hearing that she's currently presiding over and looks at her.
She just see us chasing after her
Yeah,
menacingly.
No.
Yes, so she sort of backs away a little bit, like confused about what's happening. And Yanya sort of just looks at her and says, "There's an exposed terranium node in the forest." The satyr sort of looks at her eyes just sort of wide. Are you sure? You better be certain about this. I do. Oh my god. And she sort of starts racking, going through something in her head, and you can see the wheels turning. She's thinking to herself, and then she turns to Ionia once again and says,
Her horns begin to rotate.
yeah, she sort of looks at Ionia once again and says, "It's been 20 years since the last mine was sealed? That's... How is it on the surface? It's never been on the surface before. Are there quakes already?"
Weeks?
Iona sort of says, looks at you and says, "What about the earth? Was it shaking? Was it breaking?"
There was a small crack that spewed out some air or gas, and it
And
widened.
just it. Oh no!
What is it? If we may know, so we can help.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, the thing is, steranium on its own, not dangerous. It's generally fine. You can use it for most things. The problem, or you can use it fairly easily around most things. The thing is, within this forest itself, the blade woods. Do you know what blade woods are actually made of? The blade wood is what we call the tree itself. The material it is made from is called an agrizand.
Hell,
I will write it down.
like a
Thank you.
sand.
Yeah, don't. Uh,
Why
I
can't
went
they
to
just
say it
call
under
it
my
a...
breath to try to remember it, and
Oh, yeah.
I just said aneurysm.
The blade wood itself is made of these agrizand clusters that come together, and well, they behave like trees, but they're not really. And
They are people!
and when they
No.
shed, so as to speak, and it comes in contact with selenium, it leaves this strange rot that initially seems unremarkable, but it gives birth to spores that spread out over time and kill everything it touches.
Everything.
Yes, the problem is when a quake happens, when a mine is exposed, the pressure from below the surface is so high that it often causes a schism, and that causes a large amount of steranium to get spread out into the atmosphere, and that causes oh my god, we're gonna have to contain this.
And what about the flying creatures?
Well, they're just spreaders. Um,
Are they mushroom? Are they spores? Are those the spores?
think of them as they are not sentient in any way, and they are not particularly intelligent either. Their only purpose in existence seems to be to consume and then spread steranium. And the fact,
Oh.
how many did you say are out there?
Was it two?
2 of them flew out.
2 of them, yes.
Two. Okay. How long has it been since you saw them last?
What time is it?
It's about about an hour or so after midday when
So
you
it
got
was-
in, and it's been about like say 45 minutes since you've been here. So
Probably like 5 hours then.
yeah. Since you last saw them, yeah, probably 5 hours, yeah. And as you tell her, so Satya says, "Okay, that's containable." They seem to have the way they reproduce is they just sort of split, and usually it happens from usually it's either a response to stimuli of some kind, or they just do it at about 48-hour periods, regardless of what's happening. If there's only 2 of them out there, and it's only been 5 hours, we have about 43 hours or so to hunt them down and stop them from spreading.
How do you hunt down a tiny flying creature in an immense forest?
Follow the trail of rot.
Oh, that's so good.
makes
And how
sense.
do you contain it? Or kill it? Do you want to kill it?
Yes, we must destroy it, and fire will do just fine.
Fire, you say?
That's
no.
not good for the Bladewoods in general.
Well,
I can aim
this plague
fire.
that is Well, this plague that is about to spread over this land is going to be much worse. So, I guess we'll have to live with the fire for now.
Well,
I'm sorry. This is not your job. You can go if you will, but we would much appreciate the help.
I will actually. I'm in favor of helping you, but I need to know how to use or harness the Serenium.
The last of our Sterenium Smiths left 10 years ago. There wasn't really much to do here once it was all gone. But we still have their, well, books and materials.
well, I'm certain we can discuss this
At a
as
later
for
date.
perhaps payment for helping, but maybe we should move.
I
Who
believe
knows
we
where
should
those things
move.
went?
Yes.
All right.
Surely.
Let's chase tiny slug things.
To the forest.
Through the forest.
That's,
By the
I-
way, I have to go in a bit. Like in 5 minutes, I have to go. So
It's okay. We can end the session here tonight, and then we can continue from there next week. Because this is anyway a decent stopping point. I was planning to go about half an hour more, but that's fine.
okay.
Alright.
Before we off, Artie, can you give me the 2 more items cards?
What about the item cards that I haven't given you? I'm sorry, I completely forgot.
The magical wooden box that had the compass in, and the star covered sack.
All right. I will
Oh,
send it to
and
you.
also the item. You didn't
Oh, dude,
send
I
me-
keep forgetting that. My bad.
Yeah,
I've just
no
been
worries.
so fucking busy last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been insane.
I imagine. Don't worry.
All right. I will send both of those to you
Yeah.
probably tomorrow. And till then, I'm going to take your leave. I'm going to go just hit the hay. I'm super sleepy.
Thanks for today's game.
Thank you.
we did some D&D.
It was some weird session today, dude.
It was definitely D&D though.
It was definitely D&D. We
Do
did
I have
D&D.
both? Do I have both of you tomorrow?
Should.
All 3 of us. Oh yeah. Oh no, not all 3 of us. I forgot. Hey,
No.
is not here. Oh sorry, you're not. I'm stupid. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go sleep.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
See ya. See you
Uh,
guys.
Thanks for playing today, man.
Thank you.
Squirrel. I genuinely recommend you the Lost Nova. I think you would have fun with it, and it's a good short streamable game.
Alright. I'll check it out.
And also,